Mary of Nazareth. Original poetry and narration by Marsha Newman. Taken from her book, Reflections of Eve and Her Daughters. Music composed and arranged by Lynn Burton.
I was born of Ruth, a royal line from the time of David, our greatest king. I always mourned that my father did not call me Ruth, honoring my ancestral grandmother. For who is Mary but Ruth? She is love and loyalty, her name revered by every Hebrew girl for humility. But I am Mary, and my father said, "You must give honor to your own name." So all my life have I endeavored to be worthy of so humble a name and so noble a lineage. We are Nazarenes, a tiny village, Nazareth, and the people of Jerusalem regard us not at all. Yes, mighty deeds are done in Jerusalem, but miracles in Nazareth. Through the pale mist of early morning's glow, I heard a song begin and grow, encircling me with silvery strains. What was it? Was it my name? Mary. So it seemed, and I almost thought I dreamed. The music was so compelling and so dear. But no, for as the music fell enchanting on my ear, the song became an angel, and the angel spoke to me. "Mary," he said, "it is time. The Son of God awaits at heaven's door his birth. A mortal temple shall you create for him who first created earth." But I was dumb and only lately a child myself. Can it be so? I wondered, questioning unafraid as children do. With God, all things may be, and he who formed the earth and stars and sun shall transform thee into the Holy of Holies, wherein shall dwell God's own begotten Son. And I, who never knew joy at all, was filled with rapture until my very soul was quickened by glorious love divine. All the world fled away from beneath me, and I felt like a sparrow's feather, caught up and transported by a single great warm breath, tumbling, spinning, drawn to space, half in life, half in death, until the world had passed away, all its sights and homely sounds, and only heaven's starry blanket covered me. Exquisite light reached out, piercing through infinity, and touched my shivering soul with wild tranquility. And I, who never knew God at all, except in synagogues and evening prayer, I met him in eternity and knelt before him there, with all the planets and the stars clustered at my feet. And he accepted me, and all the love I had to give was pittance beside that vast, consuming, magnificent love of his. Bethlehem is long, and the way often rocky and steep as it twists between the hills. I am grateful for our placid donkey. By day he bears me patiently, and by night gives me his warm side to lean upon and try somehow to sleep. Night falls upon us like a bandit, robbing us swiftly of the last few moments of light. Our little caravan settles down into the deep shadows of the night. It would be a pleasant time, being with Joseph thus, under the stars, swimming in our dreams, if it weren't for the surging wave of people roaring through the canyons and valleys, tumbling over each other in their homeward swell. I am grateful to my Joseph for loving me when others scorn, for covering me with the cloak of his honor and caring for me tenderly as though I were the holy babe. The others do not understand. Even our own kinsmen whisper about my untimely pregnancy. How can they understand? Even I myself am oftentimes confused and marvel at the power and the cause. I know his friends often think Joseph a fool, and he bears it all with dignity. We cannot tell them how it was many ages ago when we three chose each other. Jesus chose his brother Joseph as his earthly father, and Mary to be his sister mother. Jesus, Joseph, and Mary. We bound ourselves together with cords of love so strong that we would share the joys and the burdens willingly, from Bethlehem to Calvary. No, not even our kinsmen would comprehend, and the moment is too precious to share with aught but deity. So we travel somewhat apart, and Joseph coddles me. Father sends us gentle weather, and I do not suffer much. Only now, toward the end, my back is weary, and the child increasingly heavy within. Did Mother Eve live thus, with just the clouds and winds and animals for friends? Oh, to sleep again in comfort, albeit a strange bed and a strange room. But Ruth found kindness in Bethlehem. Perhaps Mary may also soon. He who is the perfect love of all the ages permeates my being with his bright, exquisite love. Oh, that I might hold him in my arms and feast upon his beautiful face. And yet, to lose this fusion with divine grace would be to desolate the soul of me. So I hold him jealously within my body. My womb will not deliver him up to the careless world. When he is no more part of me, he will belong to the universe. And I, who made his body from my own, will watch him grow and go his way alone. Joseph says there's no room for us in the inn. No room for him who gave the earth its sun and draws the majesty of heaven down to touch the earth. Will my son be always so, an outcast in his own world? Yet am I not surprised, for he who bringeth peace should not be born in confusion. Indeed, all unholy noise should cease with this supreme fusion of heaven. My heart is faint with fear. Oh, Father, can you trust your Son to one so young, so weak, so inexperienced as I? Might I not err in my paltry efforts of caring for the boy? Yet, it is true, I have been prepared, and all the sweet children I have often rocked have primed me for this consummate joy. I hear my mother's words still ringing in my ears. Keep him warm and always by your side. Breathe on him, and the warmth of your love will shield him from harmful draughts wherever you abide. Be patient with yourself. Your body knows. It will push him from the security of the womb into the security of your arms. And soon the sweet milk will come when sleepyhead charms you with his hungry tugs and whimpers. Oh, Mother, the time is here, and now it is I who whimpers and wishes you were near. Oh, Father of my soul and Mother of my child, hast thou forsaken me and left me all alone to weep? For behold, he cometh. Glory goeth from my soul, and my terrible grief is deep, as once my joy was wild. For soon the Messiah will be born into the darkness of the night, and all my precious light given to the world. Oh, treat him tenderly, this tiny babe, this master soul, seed of deity. Silence descends. A hush rolls out in waves to the distant corners of the universe. Somewhere across the breathless sea, the everlasting eons of space, darkness suspends the planets in somber graves. But at God's throne, brilliant spears of light disperse to illuminate a galaxy from the splendor of his face. And stillness reigns. A breathless quiet holds the spheres, and all expectant heaven waits, while God the Father brings to pass the mystery of life create. The power drains from eternal fingertips, enfolds the very particles of light, of truth, and penetrates the birthing place of self-existent mass, and lo, a child of spirit generates. Faint, misty, dim, and dusky, drawing silver slips of light, fusing lustrous pearls of truth, till matter clings to matter, emerging fluent, unflawed, primal youth. Gleam, glimmer, sparkle, shimmer, reflection of magnificent sire, luminescent child of celestial fire. Break forth, resound, O ye multitudinous worlds, ring out resounding strains of love divine, for the Father holds another Son, infused with glory, with light sublime. Roll forth, rebound your cries of joy in rapturous swirls, for Elohim his very godhood doth refine, with each begotten spirit one, sons and daughters, throughout all time. heavenly joy. Hast thou come thus to earth to be my boy? Sweet one, sweet treasure mine, dost thou honor me with a partnership divine? Thy star has dawned on earth, my morning star, first lighted at thy birth. One child, one innocent soul, of all the rest supreme. He is my child, and he is yours. He is a grand creation's dream. My child greets his world joyously, like a dear friend whose charms have been unviewed for too many long years, and his baby face alights at each friendship renewed. In the small hours of the night, this wondrous child who made his mother's world lies warmly curled close by my protecting side. Drops of sweet milk glisten on his lips. A soft, contented sigh from both us slips. And deep in his ageless eyes I see that this, my matchless mother's love, is his joyous discovery. All Hebrew mothers consecrate their firstborn sons to God's service and rest confident in their duty. It is 40 days, and I take Jesus, my precious boy, in all his innocence and beauty, and consecrate his life to man. For he shall live for God, but one day die for man. I do not always see things so clearly. Ofttimes I wish I knew nothing at all. But today the mist of ignorance flee, and in the sacrifice of the doves I see my sweet son, as he will someday be, the perfect, innocent, gentle offering, the dove of heaven, sacrificed in ultimate charity. Joseph is a carpenter, a master craftsman in his trade. He long has trained the young boys of the village to build. He is not satisfied until they too are skilled, and patiently he shows them how you must plane and sand, selecting fine wood, shaping it into lovely, useful pieces, bearing each the mark peculiar to your hand. He waited for Jesus to come of age to learn trade. Often hath he told me, Mary, Jesus will be my best pupil. He is young, but he sees everything. He knows all the tools and how they should be used. I am amused to watch them from the doorway. Joseph so tall, Jesus still small but following after, learning even now to be a master builder, to shape the piece and sand the flaws, and make a useful thing from a block of wood. Oh yes, he will be a master builder. In truth, he always hath been, and inevitably will leave his mark upon the hearts of men. day the wildflowers were a beauteous confusion, leaping gold and red over stones up the hillside. Jesus and I pulled each other up to the highest protrusion of rock and languished till eventide, basking in the glory of the view, fertile Galilee upon the right hand, and on the left, a great sea of opalescent blue. "Mother," he said, "see there, the trees and flowering shrubs beside Lake Kinnereth. See how they crowd the shore, struggling for a drink of water cool. Someday, a multitude of thirsty, struggling men will come in search of eternal cleansing water, and I will be the quenching pool." Joseph was gone all day with Jesus, fishing in the waters of Galilee. I worry when he is gone so far. I fear the dangers of the road and of the sea. So many caravans come and go along the roads of Galilee, and a strong young man would bring a handsome price. And there are evil men abroad who, if they knew his heritage, would kill him in a trice. Tonight, as he lay sleeping on his mat, I looked at him with a heavy heart that anxiousness had left. Joseph came and stood by my side. Never have I seen so many fish. They seemed to leap into his hand and swarmed about us on the tide. Mary, sometimes I choke with fear. "I know," I cried, my courage all undone. "Oh, Mary, not for him. Angels watch his every step. For me, such an awful honor to be the earthly father to God's Son." Dawn tiptoes across the sky, on tender feet, sunburned pink from yesterday's sunset. This morning, Jesus came to get me early so we could watch the dawn together. And on the way up the hill, we found a bird's feather, and from the summit, he let it go. Down, down it drifted through the shadows between the rocks, till suddenly a wind arose, caught it up and lifted it above the earth, higher and higher, till it was lost from view, transported on an unseen power off into the blue. "Do not fear the shadows, Mother," he said. "They may be fierce, and I be dead, but God can take me too, and bear me up beyond the blue. And like this feather drawn into the skies, though I die, yet will I rise." The room is small, too small for all the friends and kinsmen who would bid goodbye to Jesus. Over the years, he often went with Joseph on journeys to Jerusalem, to Acre, to Tiberias, looking for good wood, new tools and new buyers, and no one came to say goodbye then. But now he has given the shop over to his brothers, and word has gone about that Jesus will go out and join John in the Jordan, baptizing men to God. So the town comes, the old men and the little children, the young men with their brides, stop and say, God go with you. They do not know how truly they speak. They do not understand why their hearts are so cast down. But holiness goes out when Jesus goes away. And tomorrow, Nazareth will be a poorer town. Finally, the last one is gone. The candle is burned low. All night have I watched his face, and he avoided my eyes. Now he moves, as though he were enwrapped about by chain. Now he comes to me and kneels beside my chair, and tears begin like tender rain. Oh, son, I could be happy to see you go, knowing you were going to John and Jordan, but that is not so. He shook his head wearily. No, there is much beyond John. How much, I ask? How long will be your ministry? But he only looked at me silently and kept his peace. Are all the good years past? I ask. Will you ever have happiness again? Not much, he said. But sometimes I will find a soul that will balance out the pain. Oh, if only I could go with you and share the hardships and make a little nest where you might rest when you're sad and weary. I would share the sorrow that hangs about you like a sheet. I could lift it for a little and let you rest and wash your feet when they're tired and slow. He put his finger to my lips and shook his head. Mother, you cannot go. You cannot be a mother now, and I cannot be your son. When I leave your door tomorrow, I shall belong to everyone. I shall be weary, and more in my heart than my feet. I shall be lonely, and shall with scorn and hatred meet. But mother, this is the purpose. This is the reason I came. Men will know my name, and they will hate it, or they will love it. And both men must I reclaim, both redeem from their mortality, that they may come to God, as I shall surely go to Calvary. Only promise me that you, the dearest soul I know, will not be foolish and go to see me at the end. It would be too hard to see you cry. Perhaps my will would bend, and I renounce the whole world for your tears. No, I cried. I cannot promise such a thing and make myself a liar when my son is dying. If that is to be the crowning of your divinity, I will be there with you, not hiding like a coward. After all, I too belong to that moment, just as I belong to Bethlehem. He put his head down in my lap, and he wept as he never had before. And I could only pat his hair in my simple mother's way. Whether he wept for me, or for himself, or for the world outside my door, I cannot say. But that is when we parted. truly parted. And the next day, at early dawn, when he started down the village road, I did not cry, nor did he, for we had said goodbye last night. Goodbye until Calvary. Stories come home that Jesus is making the blind to see, that he is casting devils out and chasing money changers from the holy temple. They say that both the wise men and the simple love him and follow after. Of course, there are also those who hate him and shower him with cruel laughter, wishing him evil for his good. His brothers and sisters ask if I would not care to go and see. But they are also dear to me, and I will let my firstborn go while I remain here with the family. His brothers, too, are skilled at carpentry. He and Joseph taught them well. James and Simeon sometimes wave to me, and I can scarcely tell them at a distance from their older brother. Jesus gave to them his whistle and his delight in lilies and birds in flight. They cock their heads as they have often seen him do, and labor in the workshop in his identical pose. A brother or a sister knows the purity of a brother's heart, and they copy that which pleases them the most. Last week, I saw James, dear James, standing at a post, reaching up to hammer in a nail. A chilling wave rolled through me and shook me as a boat without a sail, and I sharply cried out, "James, leave the thing alone. Come, son, I need you home." They have all begged him and me to let them also go and walk with him through Galilee. But I am selfish, more than wise. I could not bear to lose another. For the Spirit whispers to me constantly that which I fear most, that we soon will lose our elder brother. Miracles fall from his fingertips like translucent drops of love, raining sweetly on the earth, stars and angels at his birth, heavenly voices and a holy dove, eternal water for thirsty lips. Come, sweet droplets, fill thou the cup, and we, like beggars, drink it up. Open heaven's anguish, pour forth the rains and cleanse the body of your Lord. Pour thunder out across the sky. Its roar is earth's reward, for the word of God is silenced now. Then how shall God speak? With lightning and with thunders, till the hinges of the earth shall creak and crack the earth asunder. Oh God, what part of the universe hides you? Where have you fled? Can you leave me with him all alone? With our son, Jesus, dead? He cried to you at the last. And did you leave him? Could you leave him? Did you flee and cast your heart beyond the rim of heaven into awful darkness? Well, I am blind. Show me the way, and I too will come and stay until a few eternities are past. My firstborn son is dead. I clutch his precious head to my bosom, and my heart tears. Every mother bears within her soul her children's pain. Then how shall I live when my darling one is slain? The same sorrow that killed him. Come now for me. Or must I wander down the labyrinth of night, a beggar of death's charity? Oh, Jesus, Jesus, Son, is it all done? All that began such long years back in Bethlehem? Is it all gone? The joy you gave me as my sweet baby back in Bethlehem. Let me rock you once more, my angel. There, little boy. Mother's near. No terror of the night can touch you with mother here. Come down, ye black clouds, break upon my head, beat upon my stubborn soul, and make me like him, dead. For how shall I live with Jesus gone? How shall anyone live without him who came to earth his perfect life to give? Jesus, my Son, my Lord, thy gift is given, and thy mother's heart riven. Long years ago, when I was yet a child, I heard the rabbi reading from the prophet Jeremiah, and I dreamed a singular dream that I would one day be the mother of the promised Messiah. The years have brought much sorrow and too few smiles. The roads I walked with Jesus were poignant miles, but far more aching now are the endless hours I endure apart from him and Joseph and my Heavenly Father. For I was spoiled with divinity, and would rather live with them, whatever worlds they now may roam, than wait behind this mortal veil for my aging dust to fail and my spirit to go home. Oh, did he die? This God-child, this one holy man. Was it a dream from which we may recover? No, it was no dream, for I am Mary, his mother, and I was there at Bethlehem and gave my soul for him. And I was there at Calvary when he gave his soul for me. And through all the years that yet may be, I will testify unto the end. all men come to earth to live and die. But Jesus, he came not to live, but to live again. To